Hello everyone, I'm Fahad Shima, Offering Manager responsible for Control Edge RTU and Experience SCADA. In this session, I'll take you through Experience SCADA and how it provides the end-to-end solution catered to customer needs, be that on-site or cloud-hosted. Control Edge RTU complements these solutions from the field perspective with seamless integration. I have no idea of your background, so let me start by asking what SCADA means. It stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, but what it truly means? Let's get back to the answer of this in a bit. SCADA can be used in many different ways, but it certainly makes a lot of sense in any industry that has geographically dispersed equipment. Oil and gas wellheads and pipelines, wind and solar power generation, energy storage systems and water distribution, and many more. When Experian PKS was released in 2003, Honeywell provided a completely integrated SCADA with DCS and safety system. But as this slide shows, Experian has a strong DNA in SCADA solutions through predecessor products of PlantScape, Scan 3000, and even earlier. Experian's SCADA story started back in 1977 when we delivered the mobile Altona to Tullamarine Pipeline SCADA system. One of the innovations listed in this slide I want to highlight is the equipment-based configuration and operation. I'll talk about that a bit later. But did you know that 25% of Experian PKS licenses only have SCADA points? 48% have both SCADA and process, and 39% of PKS licenses have more SCADA points than process points. Let's first talk about what is SCADA. In a SCADA system, the server is the backbone. It is a data and event historian, an engineering repository, does the field communication, holds the point structure. It is also the alarm management subsystem and publisher of data to HMI clients and applications. But Experian is also highly scalable from a single combined server HMI with a small number of RTUs like we see, to a very large system with up to 5,000 RTUs all within one server. Importantly, Experian can grow as you grow by cost-effectively adding more license points and interfaces as you need them, all done online without interrupting existing configuration. Something unique to Experian is its capability to be a truly integrated control system. If you have need for DCS controllers as well, maybe for a pipeline compressor station, then you can just add the C300 DCS controller. Likewise, if you need a safety system, you can add Safety Manager or Safety Manager SC. All the other infrastructures are the same. Same servers, same HMI, same alarm subsystem, same historian. Experian truly is an integrated control system with SCADA, DCS, and safety systems. To extend the scalability further, whilst a single server comes with a huge capacity of points and HMI, Experian also comes with a patented feature called distributed system architecture. If your system architecture dictates that you require multiple physical servers, maybe at remote locations, maybe for segregation of ownership of different assets, DSA brings all these servers together as a single system without having to replicate points between servers. There are almost no engineering to make these connections. In addition, these separate Experian servers participating in DSA do not even have to be at the same release of software, allowing for a smooth upgrade schedule that best suits you. Experian is not only scalable, it is highly agile and flexible as well. And the long reach of control gets longer with native backup control center. I say native because, as you may know, we have virtualization-based backup control center too. This certainly has its role, and we have no intention of withdrawing that. But to reduce failover times to almost instantaneous, you really need a built-in software solution. And why do you want that? For better availability, for critical infrastructure protection. The way this works is that you consider an existing redundant server pair as one server location. You then add an additional redundant pair of Experian server at another server location. We show here stations at the server locations, but they don't actually have to be there. They could be in yet another location or two. As we can see here in Station Server Redundancy Display, instead of having one synchronized backup server, you now have 3 across 2 locations. Again, better availability that also might be required for regulatory compliance. Now moving on to talk about Experian's point structure, it is an important topic when we start to talk about scalability and sizing, as Experian points have a composite data structure. They represent several field values in a single point. For example, for an analog control loop, the process variable, the set point, the output, the mode, and all related alarms and other parameters are components of a single SCADA point. There is also the capability to have an unlimited number of user-defined parameters. These could be used to score calculations for this point or hold related equipment information like maintenance details. One of the key problems in terms of operator interface-wise are cost to build and maintain displays. Manually building tabular displays for a large number of repeated similar equipment is costly and difficult to maintain. Not only the equipment's display, but also summary displays too. And just as importantly, they do not provide all of the features needed by the operator to efficiently manage the assets. One of the key advantages of Experian SCADA is radically simplified configuration and operational efficiency that is achieved by it. As for how we will do that, through a new template-driven concept we call equipment. These templates include all the related SCADA configuration of the equipment, all the points, any calculations, display elements, trend definitions, relationships such as what is upstream or downstream, what are the key parameters for this equipment, the operations task-based filters, even the SCADA communication settings to the RTU or PLC. You then configure a system by adding a single piece of equipment requiring just a few details instead of separately building many points and operator displays. At the start of this session, you may recall that I highlighted equipment-based configuration and operation as one of the Experian innovation. It is a feature that you may not be familiar with, but we released these in Experian Release 430, and they are a perfect fit for third-party device integration where we want best practice operations with minimal configuration requirements. I'd like to give you a quick intro. First of all of the next few displays here are template-driven. The first one is an overview of all the various equipment in the system. You can then expand to view a tabular summary. Not only can we organize equipment, but within these templates, we embed the domain knowledge with items like filters to highlight the exception. If I am your best operator or pipeline controller, what is it that I need to do? Once I've found my focus, I can drill down to a single piece of equipment, such as wellhead, as shown here in a process type view. But also in other views such as this table view, equipment trends, and other related info. Everything here is configured through templating. Nothing is individually configured in the user interface. And the last screen here shows the mini trend. Reality is RTUs are part of a solution. The end customer does not buy just a SCADA system. They buy a solution designed for their particular application. And as part of this solution, Control Edge RTU is more than a telemetry unit. It can be used as a data collector, process controller, and flow measurement device at one end. It can be connected to field device instruments, sometimes a local HMI, communication radios, maybe even a local security camera, plus other subsystems such as downhole monitoring. And on the other hand, it can transmit data to SCADA system like Experian, and an asset management system like Honeywell's Field Device Manager. Now let me take you through the SCADA solution we can provide through Experian, on-site and cloud-hosted. As you can see SCADA in a traditional deployment, which is on-site SCADA. Let's review the elements in this slide. In the center you can see SCADA servers physically reside at a customer site. that is control room, office building, etc. At one end, data has been pulled from the field instruments, and on the other side, data from SCADA server can then be shared with multiple interfaces through corporate network. What happens when we go to the cloud? This is what SCADA looks like when we go to the cloud. The components remain the same, except connection to the SCADA server now requires a firewall, and the SCADA server, now physically located in a data center in another location, most likely in another city. What does this look like from the field side? Field devices don't change. Let's have a look at how end devices are connected. These are typical devices we see in the field at the remote assets. They could be transmitters located on wellheads or pipeline, could be weather stations on solar or windmill farm. They are all connected to control edge RTU, which can itself be mounted in a box with solar panel on top to provide power to the unit, all self-sufficient solution. Data from the control edge RTU is then sent to experience SCADA through satellite, fiber optic, cellular modems, or radio if you wish. How does this change when we head to the cloud? Field devices, when SCADA moves to the cloud, they don't change. Only changes where their SCADA host is, and how they connect today may stay the same. Taking a deeper look at telecoms. For those of you who think in pictures, here are your Experian Elevate servers in the cloud. The comms to the field would typically these days go via a telecommunication provider, but some of you may own that aspect of your telecom infrastructure. With Experian Elevate, these are connected or redirected, if brownfield, to the cloud data center through firewall and VPNs to the Experian. Think about this for a second. What is cloud? It is someone's data center. What data center are you using today? Maybe it is your own on-site data center. Maybe you're leasing space for your hardware in someone else's data center. You will have secured your comms to and from that data center, and that will still be the case with an Experian Elevate data center. Similarly, users of the system connect via their PCs or mobile devices over secured connections. I can give you a recent example of a power transmission company that moved their control room 300 kilometers away from its previous location. They did not move their SCADA server, they just moved where their SCADA clients were located. Okay, time for a comparison between Experian Elevate and Experian PKS. Most importantly, Elevate has the same underlying Experian technology. Elevate is delivered differently with enhanced rapid deployment workflows. Elevate is a software as a service. PKS is an upfront purchase. Elevate is hosted by Honeywell. PKS is hosted by you. Elevate is provisioned by Honeywell in rapid time. PKS is set up by you or as a part of a project. Elevate is maintained automatically. PKS is maintained by you or Honeywell under contract. Honeywell keeps Elevate on latest software releases and patch, and you do that for PKS. Elevate communicates to devices typically in the same way as PKS does. It just may have a slightly different path to the data centers. Elevate users will connect through different paths, but experience will be seamless and familiar. Elevate is configured by Honeywell or yourself, as is PKS. Although with Elevate, it is a lot easier to engage global expertise. However, this comparison should not make you think you have to choose one or the other SCADA solution. You can always choose both as per your need. And the next slide will show you how. Also, it is important to mention Experian Elevate and PKS can exist in coherence within the same project, enabling user to implement mix of systems. All we need to do is to DSA them together. Hence, a hybrid solution as per your needs. That brings us to the end of this session. Feel free to meet me in the demo center for a live chat. I'll be available at booth Experience SCADA or feel free to contact me directly, fahad.chima@honeywell.com. Thank you.